Have you ever found yourself in that moment just completely lost in laughter? Where tears are streaming, your sides hurt, maybe you're somewhere you really shouldn't be laughing, but you just can't stop.
Oh, absolutely. Or the flip side, right? You tell a joke you think is gold, crickets.
Exactly. While some other little comment just sets everyone off. We all laugh, it feels so basic, so human. But how often do we actually stop and think, like, why? What's really going on inside us, in our brains and bodies, during that burst of sound and feeling?
It's one of those things, isn't it? Totally universal, but we just take it for granted. Yet it has this incredible power. It connects us. It can even feel healing sometimes. And it shapes our interaction, even whole cultures, in subtle ways.
You might just think of it as, a spontaneous outburst, maybe not that important.
But the science behind it,
Yeah.
it reveals this fascinating, really deeply ingrained biological process. It's anything but simple when you dig in.
Which is exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. We're going to unpack the incredible science behind laughter. We'll look at its ancient roots, how it impacts our brains, our bodies.
And its vital role, maybe even underestimated, in human connection in society.
Yeah, our mission today is really to give you a whole new appreciation for something so fundamental, but maybe often overlooked.
And to do that, we've gathered, well, a pretty comprehensive set of sources. We're looking at neuroscientific research, papers from evolutionary psychologists, expert analyses on human behavior.
It gives us a really rich foundation, right, to see laughter from lots of different angles, some really surprising ones.
Exactly. Gets us closer to what really makes us, well, tickle.
So lean in with us. Get ready to discover why laughter isn't just, entertainment or a quick reaction.
It's actually this powerful evolutionary force that shaped us in ways you might not even imagine.
Let's not just crack a smile. Let's really crack open the science of laughter. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. Biologically speaking, what is laughter? Because it feels like more than just making a noise, right?
Oh, definitely. It's far from random. Biologically, it's actually a super complex, highly coordinated response. You've got these rhythmic sounds, often kind of choppy, staccato.
Yeah, like, ha-ha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Different from regular speech. And it involves distinct breathing patterns. Your diaphragm is doing this rapid contraction thing, plus very specific facial expressions.
The smile, the twinkly eyes.
Right, the corners of the mouth pull back, the eyes narrow, sometimes even tears. It's not just your vocal cords, it's a whole body physical event. Respiratory system, facial muscles, all working together.
That coordination itself kind of hints that it's something pretty fundamental, doesn't it? Like hardwired.
That's a great way to put it. It suggests deep evolutionary roots, not just something we learned. Think about it compared to, say, a gasp of surprise or a grunt. Laughter has its own unique, unmistakable physiological signature.
And what really blows my mind is this idea that laughter is actually older than spoken language. We think of communication as words, sentences.
But laughter was likely doing a lot of the communicative work long before complex language evolved. It seems to be a more primal form of communication, hitting our emotional brain, the limbic system, more directly.
Wow. So it's not just humans.
Not at all. And this really drives home how ancient it is. Get this, and it's a fun fact from the sources, rats. Actual rats. They giggle when they're tickled.
No way. Rats giggle. How do we even know that?
Scientists recorded it using special ultrasonic microphones, high-frequency sounds that fit the pattern.
It's incredible, right? A clear, observable sign of playfulness across species.
Rats giggling. That
See, maybe
makes
that's
you
some-
smile, doesn't it? And it makes you think, if rats do it, it's not some fancy human invention.
Exactly. It suggests it's a really deep, fundamental biological mechanism, probably tied to signaling safety, inviting play, reducing threat, things that go way beyond complex human words.
Like a hardwired instinct for connection? Precisely. Which leads right into its likely evolutionary purpose, being a social signal. It almost certainly evolved primarily as a tool for social bonding.
Okay, so how would that work?
Well, imagine early human groups. Hearing laughter, especially in a potentially tense or uncertain situation, could instantly signal safety, comfort, connection. It says, it's okay here, we're on the same page, no threat detected.
Ah, like a nonverbal all clear. It builds cohesion.
Absolutely. It signals non-aggression, shared understanding. It fosters that group unity, tells everyone without words, we're safe, we're together, we get each other. A quick way to assess a shared, non-threatening vibe.
And we still use it like that all the time, don't we? To build rapport, ease awkward moments, show agreement or empathy. It's like social lubrication.
It really is fundamental to our daily interactions. And connecting this to the brain, even the start of a laugh is neurologically complex. The sources show key areas lighting up almost instantly.
Which
You've got the amygdala, crucial for emotions, pleasure, fear. Then the prefrontal cortex, the executive control center, handling judgment, social cues, understanding context.
the thinking part, trying to figure out the joke or situation.
Kind of, yeah. And then, of course, the motor cortex, because it
Mm.
has to coordinate the physical act, the breathing, the facial muscles, everything.
So it's not just an emotional reflex, it's cognitive, emotional, and physical right from the get-go.
Exactly. An integrated response, pulling multiple brain systems into action all at once. Your whole brain is basically in on the act.
Wow, a complex biological concert indeed.
Hmm.
Okay, so we know what it is biologically, but the really big question is, why do we laugh? It feels so spontaneous, but, scientists and philosophers have been chewing on this for centuries, developing theories.
They have indeed. And there are three main theories that keep coming up. It's important to remember they aren't necessarily exclusive. They often overlap and explain different kinds of laughter.
Right, so what's the first one?
The first is the relief theory. This one's often associated with Sigmund Freud.
Ugh, Freud. Okay, so what was his take? Relief from what?
He suggested laughter is mainly a way to release built-up nervous tension, or, as he called it, psychic energy. Think about feeling stressed or holding back a strong emotion. Laughter, in that view, is like opening a pressure valve.
Letting off steam.
Exactly. It's a physiological release, cathartic.
That makes a lot of sense with stand-up comedy, doesn't it? Comedians often talk about awkward or taboo stuff, things we might feel tense about.
Precisely. They create this tension around a difficult topic, and then the punchline provides a safe, socially okay way for the whole audience to release that pent-up energy through laughter. It feels good.
Yeah, like a collective sigh of relief.
And this theory also explains things like nervous laughter really well. You know, that giggle that pops out when you're stressed or uncomfortable?
Oh, yeah. Super awkward situations sometimes.
It's your body trying to discharge that sudden spike of anxiety or fear. An involuntary coping mechanism, really. Laughing off the pressure.
Okay, got it. Relief theory. What's next? This one sounds maybe a bit less positive. The superiority theory.
Yeah, this one has older roots. Plato, Hobbes. It basically argues that we laugh when we feel a sense of superiority over someone else. Maybe we feel smarter, luckier, safer compared to their mistake or misfortune.
Ooh, okay. Like we feel momentarily better than them.
In a nutshell, yes, it's that fleeting feeling of being elevated, even just slightly, at someone else's expense.
The classic example our sources use is the person slipping on a banana peel. We've all seen that kind of humor.
It's a perfect illustration. There's maybe a split second of concern, but often the reaction is laughter. It feels a bit mean, maybe, but it's common.
Does this relate to Schadenfreude? That feeling of pleasure at someone else's misfortune?
It definitely taps into that. And it helps explain why slapstick comedy so often targets clumsy or foolish characters. We laugh at their situation because we're not in it. It gives us that momentary sense of relief or even superior competence.
It's maybe a more primitive side of humor?
Arguably, yes. Highlighting our tendency to compare ourselves. But it's undeniably a part of why certain things strike us as funny.
Okay, so relief and superiority. But the one that seems most accepted today, the one that explains most jokes, is the incongruity theory.
That's right. This is where most modern humor research focuses. The idea here is that laughter arises when our expectations get violated, when things don't fit together the way we thought they would.
Like a twist.
Exactly. A twist, a pun, a surprising juxtaposition. It breaks our mental pattern, creates a cognitive mismatch. Your brain expects one thing, then bam, something else unexpected, but, crucially, still making sense in a different way.
Can you give us that eyebrow joke example again? It really shows it clearly.
Sure. The joke is, I told my wife she was drawing her eyebrows too high.
Okay.
She looked surprised.
Right. Okay, break that down. Why does the incongruity theory make that funny?
Because the setup makes you think about makeup advice, maybe a slight disagreement. Drawing eyebrows too high, you picture the physical act.
Yeah, literally drawing them on.
But the punchline, she looked surprised, seems unrelated at first. Why would that be her reaction? The incongruity, the twist, is the double meaning. She's not just surprised emotionally.
Her eyebrows are literally drawn high, making her look surprised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That violation of your initial assumption, followed by the sudden click into this new, unexpected, but perfectly logical and funny understanding, that's the incongruity triggering the laugh. It's a cognitive shift.
It's that aha moment, the mental connection. That's brilliant. And like you said, these theories aren't separate boxes. A joke could hit all three sometimes.
For sure. It might relieve tension, have an element of surprise or incongruity, and maybe make you feel clever for getting it. They often work together to explain the complex thing we call humor.
Hmm.
So shifting from the why to the when, it's really quite amazing how early laughter shows up in our development.
It is, isn't it? Babies. Tiny little humans, barely doing anything, and they're already laughing. The sources say around 3 to 4 months old. That's way before language.
Way before complex understanding. They're communicating joy, connection through sound and expression long before they can say mama.
And it's not just cute, right? It actually does something important for them.
Absolutely critical. Infant laughter is huge for parent-child bonding. It creates this powerful positive feedback loop. Baby laughs, parent feels joy, interacts more playfully.
And the baby learns from that interaction.
Exactly. They learn cause and effect. If I do this, or if mom, dad makes that face, this wonderful shared thing happens. It's fundamental social and emotional learning, building the foundation for relationships.
So it's an active tool for them, communication, learning, bonding.
Okay, but here's the slightly depressing part for us grown-ups, the frequency difference. Babies laugh how many times a day?
Get this, between 200 and 300 times a day.
Whoa, that's incredible. Just constantly amused.
It paints a picture of childhood being just full of uninhibited joy, right?
And then adults. What's our number?
A measly 15 to 30 times a day, on average. Wow. Okay. So, the big question then is, where did all that joy go? What happens between being a baby laughing 300 times a day and being an adult laughing maybe 20 times?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's likely a mix of things. As we grow up, responsibilities pile up. There's way less unstructured play.
We get more self-conscious, worry about looking silly.
Definitely. Societal norms, seriousness, expectations. We learn to filter ourselves. That prefrontal cortex, the planning and inhibition part of the brain, gets much more dominant. It kind of puts the brakes on spontaneous laughter.
And maybe our sense of humor just gets more complicated. Needs more setup.
That too. We move from simple peekaboo to meeting more complex, nuanced humor. It requires more cognitive work, so it's not triggered as easily, though it can be very rewarding when it lands. It's sort of a trade-off, perhaps. We gain sophisticated social skills, but lose some of that raw, spontaneous expression.
Yeah, that makes sense. We become these filtered, responsible adults. But even though we laugh less often, that social function, the bonding part, that definitely sticks around, right? It just changes form.
Yeah, which brings us right to this idea of laughter as like the ultimate social glue. Because even if we laugh less often, when we do laugh, it's usually with other people.
That's a really key point. And the data is striking. Our sources say we are 30 times more likely to laugh when we're with others compared to when we're alone.
30 times. That's huge. It really hammers home that laughter is fundamentally social. It's about sharing an experience, connecting.
Absolutely. It's a signal. I'm with you. I get it. We're sharing this moment. It biologically and psychologically strengthens those interpersonal bonds.
You see it all the time, right? A shared laugh can totally change the mood in a tense meeting. Or think about couples who laugh together a lot. They just seem stronger.
Exactly. It boosts group cohesion, builds trust, fosters cooperation, whether it's a work team, a couple, students in a class. Shared laughter creates this positive, collaborative vibe. It's like an unspoken message. We're a team. We feel safe here. Breaks down formality.
Totally. And this connects to something really cool neurologically. Mirror neurons. And how laughter is just so contagious.
Oh yeah, someone starts really laughing hard near you, and it's almost impossible not to join in, or at least smile. It feels automatic.
It's a fascinating brain thing. Mirror neurons fire, both when we do an action and when we see someone else do it. So just hearing laughter activates these neurons, making our brain kind of simulate the experience, creating that impulse to laugh too.
Like it's prepping us to join in.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
It's a basic mechanism for empathy and social connection.
It's just like yawning, right? You see it, you do it. And the sources mentioned something interesting. Our brains can apparently tell if a laugh is fake.
They can, yeah. There are subtle acoustic differences. But here's the kicker. Even if we detect it's fake, we often still play along.
Why do we do that? Just to be polite.
Pretty much. To maintain social harmony, keep the positive feeling going in the group. Even a fake shared laugh reinforces the bond, validates the group experience. It's a subtle social dance.
And evolutionarily, that contagiousness makes sense for building community, right?
Mm-hmm.
A quick signal of safety and unity.
Exactly. A fast, efficient way to bind people together. We're all good here.
Amazing. So, beyond the social stuff, what else is lighting up in our brains? You called it a chemical symphony earlier.
It really is. Laughter triggers this cascade of key neurochemicals. First up, dopamine. That's the pleasure and reward chemical. Gives you that feel-good buzz during and after laughing.
So that's the immediate payoff. Makes you want more.
Exactly. It reinforces the positive social interaction. Then you get endorphins. These are the body's natural painkillers, like natural opiates.
So that feeling of lightness, maybe even less pain after a good laugh.
That's the endorphins. They create a bit of euphoria and block pain signals. That's why your pain tolerance actually goes up after laughing. And then there's oxytocin.
The bonding hormone.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Released during shared laughter, it literally deepens trust, empathy, emotional connection. It biologically cements relationships. That's why laughing together feels so intimate.
Wow. So it's hitting mood, pain, and connection all at once. And the sources even say it's like a full brain workout.
Totally. MRI scans show laughter lights up multiple brain areas simultaneously. The frontal lobe for understanding the humor, judging the context, the temporal lobe for processing the sound, the language, and the motor cortex coordinating the physical laughing.
So it's not just one laugh spot in the brain.
No, it's a whole network firing together. And here's the fascinating bit. Studies suggest it's a more comprehensive brain workout than even listening to music.
Really? More than music. Why?
Because it's more complex. Music hits auditory and emotional centers mainly. Laughter involves processing the unexpected twist, the social context, coordinating complex physical movements, and releasing all those chemicals. It's this rapid-fire, multi-system engagement that makes it such a workout.
Which probably reinforces why it's so contagious, too. Our brains are just primed for that full-on experience.
It seems that way. Ready to jump into that complex, beneficial symphony.
Okay, let's talk about that old saying, laughter is the best medicine. Is there actual science behind that, or is it just, a nice thing people say?
Oh, there's definitely concrete science. It's much more than just a nice sentiment. The sources lay out several significant documented physiological benefits.
Like what specifically?
Well, for starters, laughter demonstrably lowers levels of stress hormones, especially cortisol. High cortisol long-term is bad news inflammation, weakened immunity. So bringing cortisol down with a laugh is a direct health plus.
Okay, so literally less stress chemically. What else?
It also gives your immune system a boost. A good laugh can actually increase the number and activity of your natural killer cells, the ones that fight viruses and even some tumor cells. Makes your defenses stronger.
Wow. Stronger immune system just from laughing.
Seems so. Plus, it improves blood circulation, gets more oxygen and nutrients flowing throughout your body, which is good for overall cellular health.
And I remember reading something about pain relief. Is that for real?
It is, remarkably. Studies consistently show laughter increases pain tolerance, sometimes by 10 or even 20%. That goes back to the endorphins we talked about. Those natural painkillers flood your system.
So if you're feeling sore or have chronic pain, a good laugh might genuinely help.
It can make the pain feel less intense or more manageable for a while, yes. So you add it all up. Lower stress hormones, better immunity, improved circulation, higher pain tolerance. It all contributes to well-being and stress reduction. It really does validate the best medicine idea in a physiological way.
That's incredible. It's not just feeling happy, it's actual measurable health effects. And people are using this intentionally now, right? Like therapeutically.
Absolutely. Take laughter yoga, especially popular in places like Japan. It's not just exercise. It's sometimes prescribed for heart health or stress management. It's using the physical act of laughing to get the benefits, even if you have to fake it till you make it initially.
And what about that famous story of Norman Cousins back in the 60s? That really got people thinking, didn't it?
It really did. Norman Cousins, a journalist, had this serious collagen disease. He claimed that watching funny movies, Marx Brothers, things like that, along with vitamin C, helped him recover significantly. He reported less pain, more mobility.
Was it scientifically proven?
It was anecdotal, his personal experience. But it was incredibly influential. It sparked huge public interest and pushed researchers to seriously investigate laughter's therapeutic potential. It really highlighted the mind-body connection in healing and kind of kicked off the field of psychoneuroimmunology, how our psychology affects our nervous and immune systems.
It makes you wonder, if it's this beneficial, why aren't we consciously building more laughter into our lives or even into healthcare?
It's a great question. The physical benefits clearly link up with the psychological and social ones we discussed. It's this holistic path to well-being that's basically free and accessible to almost everyone.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit now to some of the maybe trickier aspects of humor itself. Like, can artificial intelligence ever really understand humor?
It seems so.
Human.
This is a fascinating thought. AI can do so much now, write text, make images, compose music, but humor feels different somehow. The sources say AI can be programmed to generate jokes, but it really struggles with the complexity, right? The context, timing, emotion.
Exactly. There's a huge difference between following rules to make a joke and actually getting it. An AI can learn the pattern of a simple joke like, why did the chicken cross the road? That works because it's formulaic.
But sarcasm, irony, dark humor.
That's where it gets really tough. That requires understanding subtext, cultural nuances, emotional tone. Things AI currently lacks because it doesn't have consciousness or lived experience. It needs abstract reasoning, emotional intelligence, just basic world knowledge that's implicit for us. So it can mimic the structure, but doesn't feel the punchline. It doesn't understand why it's funny.
Pretty much. It can't feel the tension build and release or the surprise. Researchers are trying to teach AI sarcasm using sentiment analysis, looking for mismatches in tone and content in huge data sets of conversations.
How's that going?
It's improving, but still far from perfect. AI often misses subtle cues or misinterprets nuance. It raises a really big question. Will AI ever truly get humor, or will it just get very good at faking it, at mimicking the patterns? It really highlights how deeply human humor is.
And that human element shines through in how different humor is across cultures too, doesn't it? What's hilarious in one place can completely bomb somewhere else.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge truth. Humor is deeply tied to cultural values, social norms, history, communication styles. The sources give some great examples.
Like British humor.
Known for its dry sarcasm, understatement, self-deprecation. Think Monty Python or the UK Office. Lots of playing with social awkwardness, subtle subversion. The humor is often in the deadpan delivery of absurdity,
Right, and different from, say, American humor.
which often leans more towards exaggeration, physical comedy, sometimes that kind of awkward realism or observational stuff about social discomfort, like in many sitcoms or stand-up routines.
And Indian humor.
Often involves intricate wordplay, maybe drawing on multiple languages, and a strong tradition of mimicry or impersonation.
What about Japanese humor?
Well, there's manzai, that traditional double act, relies on a specific structure. The funny man, Boke says absurd things, and the straight man, Tsukomi, delivers sharp, logical retorts, often with puns and physical comedy mixed in. Very culturally specific timing and references.
It really shows how much our shared background shapes what we find funny. Language, history, social rules, it's all baked in.
It is. But interestingly, despite all these differences in style, some core triggers for laughter seem pretty universal. Things like embarrassment, surprise, irony, seeing patterns broken. Those tend to work across cultures.
So the way we express humor varies wildly, but maybe the underlying reasons we find things funny have some common ground.
It seems likely, yeah. That unexpected twist or relatable awkwardness, those might tap into something fundamentally human that transcends cultural specifics.
Okay, we've covered so much of the good stuff about laughter, the health benefits, the social bonding, but can laughter ever take a dark turn? Can it be negative or even dangerous?
It's a valid question, and the answer is, well, yes, in very specific and usually very rare circumstances. This brings us to gelotology.
Gelotology, what's that?
It's the actual scientific study of laughter. And within this field, researchers do look at times when laughter isn't positive, when it becomes problematic, or a symptom of something else.
Like a medical condition.
Exactly. There's a neurological condition called pseudobulbar affect, or PBA.
Yeah.
People with PBA experience uncontrollable bursts of laughing or crying that are completely disconnected from how they actually feel inside.
Wow, so you could feel sad but just start laughing uncontrollably.
Precisely. Or feel neutral and burst into tears. It's a mismatch between internal emotion and external expression, caused by issues in the brain's emotional regulation circuits. It can be incredibly distressing for the person.
So it shows laughter isn't always joy, it can be a neurological misfire.
It highlights its complex integration with brain function, definitely. It's not always volitional or a response to amusement.
And then, are there even more serious, like, physical dangers? This sounds almost mythical.
Again, extremely rare, almost anecdotal, but documented cases exist. Laughter has occasionally triggered seizures in people with certain types of epilepsy, especially if the seizure focus is near brain areas involved in emotion or humor.
Okay, wow.
And then there's the concept, rarely ever occurring, of fatal hilarity. Situations where extreme, prolonged laughter, usually combined with other health factors, has been linked to death.
Seriously, like laughing yourself to death.
The sources mention a particularly chilling anecdote. A man in Thailand reportedly laughed in his sleep for 2 solid minutes and never woke up,
Yeah.
likely related to asphyxiation or possibly heart arrhythmia triggered by the intense exertion.
Goodness, that's deeply unsettling. It really drives home how physiologically powerful laughter is, even if these cases are absolute outliers.
They are definitely outliers, often involving underlying conditions, not something people should worry about. But yes, they underscore that laughter isn't trivial. It's a profound biological event impacting vital systems.
Okay, so putting those very rare, dark examples aside, let's swing back to the overwhelmingly positive power of humor, because if it's that potent physiologically, it must serve a really deep purpose for us, right? Beyond just feeling good.
Absolutely, it's arguably a core survival mechanism.
Okay.
Humor and the laughter it produces helps us cope with grief, trauma, fear, immense difficulty. It's a release valve, yes, but it also helps us gain perspective, lighten the load, find a way through the unbearable.
It's about resilience.
Fundamentally.
Yeah.
And you see comedians harnessing this all the time.
Taking really tough subjects and making us laugh, but also think.
Exactly. Think of George Carlin's social critiques, Hassan Minhaj's political insights, Ricky Gervais pushing boundaries on uncomfortable truths. They use humor not just to entertain, but to deliver profound commentary, challenge norms, make serious points digestible. Humor becomes a vehicle for truth.
And it circles back to relationships too, right? Shared laughter being a predictor of staying together.
Yes, the sources strongly support that. Couples who laugh together report higher satisfaction, greater intimacy, and tend to stay together longer. It builds that shared understanding, that resilience against stress. It signals comfort, vulnerability, a shared worldview.
And on a bigger scale, satire.
Satire is incredibly powerful. As a form of humor, it can challenge political systems, expose hypocrisy, even undermine authority in ways direct confrontation can't. It uses laughter to deliver sharp critiques and potentially drive social change.
So it's not just personal well-being, it can be a tool for societal reflection and progress. Which brings us to the amazing Charlie Chaplin quote.
To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it.
That just captures it perfectly, doesn't it?
It really does. Humor isn't about ignoring pain. It's about engaging with it, transforming it, finding perspective, finding resilience, finding light, finding levity, even in the face of hardship.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've been on today. From the basic biology of a giggle,
To the deep psychological theories, the complex brain chemistry.
the profound impact on our health, our social bonds, our cultures, it's just so clear that laughter is way, way more than just entertainment.
Absolutely. It's fundamental to our evolution. It's a powerful healing agent, and it's just an essential part of being human. A dynamic symphony of biology, psychology, and social connection.
So maybe the next time you find yourself laughing, whether it's a small chuckle or a big, uncontrollable belly laugh,
Take a second just to notice it. Recognize that your brain, your body, your whole being is doing something incredibly complex and beneficial, honed over millions of years.
maybe think about how you could bring a little more laughter into your life intentionally. Or just notice its impact day to day.
How it eases tension, strengthens a bond, helps you cope. Those small moments add up.
And reflecting on all this, we'd love for you to think about this. What is the absolute funniest thing you have ever experienced? That moment that just completely broke you?
And thinking about everything we've discussed, the relief, the superiority, the incongruity, the social aspect, the brain chemistry, why do you think that specific moment hit you so hard? What made it resonate so deeply?
Something to ponder.
Until next time.
Because, well, science says it's profoundly good for you.